Hello, today I decided to film a little arty adventure starting in my hallway. I thought I might as well show it you, seeing as it is one of my paintings. I did it in lockdown in 2020 for a bit of fun, and I said I'd paint over it after lockdown, but we've all got used to it now, so it's still there. I set off first thing in the morning with an art kit, my swimming costume, a blanket and a book. It's a gorgeous day, and first of all I go to my friend's cafe for breakfast. Another of my friend's sons is working there today.
Hello.
I find a nice spot in the cafe's garden to eat. You can see one of the old tin mines called Wheel Friendly in the distance. A little visitor comes and joins me, and I share some of my breakfast grains with it. Next, I pop by one of my friends to say hello. She lives in one of these beautiful little thatch cottages just up from the beach. Then I visit another friend and admire their agapanthus plants on the way out. The tide is quite high at my local beach, Trevorn's Cove, but I bump into some more friends and a couple of us decide to go swimming. It's enormous fun. I then set off along the coast path, which begins to climb up to the cliff tops. This is looking back onto Trevorn's Cove. When I'm higher still, I find a bench and start to do a sketch. I meet a lovely couple down here on holiday and chat for a while. I do a simple outline of the cliffs. I'm using my 12cm square Talens Art Creations sketchbook. I've got my regular watercolour palette with me and just some mixed media stuff in a big pencil case. I can fit my sketchbook and everything into here. Here's the watercolour I lay down first. It's drying so quickly out here today, which is great. And add a bit of sea. And here's the finished sketch. I use some coloured pencils, some Tempera paint sticks and Caran D'Ache Neocolor 2s for additional details. I carry along the coast path. My cortisone injection in my hips working quite well now, and it's great to be walking again. The colours are wonderful, and I love the variety of the different stages of the coast path. This is looking back towards the cliffs that I just painted. The purpley pink heather growing in huge swathes is just gorgeous. Then I reach one of my favourite areas. It's the Wheel Coats tin mine. It was at its heyday in the early 1800s. The word wheel means place of work in Cornish. More than 200 engine houses were scattered across this small part of Cornwall, and it is now a World Heritage Site. The area is just under 80 square miles, and many of the buildings still remain. I spread my blanket out here and read for a while. I continue along the coast path, down past the Talens engine house. This is probably one of the most photographed tin mines in Cornwall. The sea's pretty choppy today. Over in the distance you can see St Ives. At low tide, this area below me is all sandy beach. You can walk as far as the base of the tin mine. I keep going till I can see Chapelporth Beach in the distance, and make my way down to it. Lots of bodyboarders in there. As I said, all of this area is sand at low tide. After having an ice cream and chatting for a while with another great couple, I set out my blanket and lean against the sea wall. I do another pencil sketch to start with. Starting to add the watercolour. And that's all of the watercolour done now. I chicken out and don't add any people to the scene. And then here it is finished with my usual additions of luminance pencils, Faber-Castell Gelatos and Tempera paint sticks. By the time I leave, the tide's gone out a little bit more. It still goes out much further than this though. I now have quite a long walk ahead of me and all of it's uphill. I want to go to the top of the hill in our village now. So this is looking back to where I've just come from, and then looking over towards the purple hill in the distance, which I'm going to the top of. I have to walk along the road a little way, and I really love the flowers in the hedgerows. Halfway up the hill, I see what I think is a kestrel hovering over the path. I haven't been up this way for quite a while, and I'm just delighted to see all the purple heather everywhere. I can see where I've just walked from, including the tin mines in the distance. I head to a bench a little further up the hill and get out my painting stuff again. It's nearly 6 o'clock in the evening by this point, so I decide to do a faster Splodge and Scribble painting. This is my very quick Splodge layer. And here it is once I've started to add some of the Scribble, which in this case is done with coloured pencil. I've added in the field boundaries and some details in the fields, plus my little tin mines. And here it is finished, with some foreground and additional details. I then carry on walking to the top of the hill, which is called the Beacon. There's the most wonderful view from the top, and you can see all around for miles. There's St Ives in the distance in this direction, and then all of the coast path which I've walked along today. And then in this direction you can see as far as Newquay and beyond. And down there is the cove that I swam in and cliffs that I painted. And this is the village of St Agnes that I need to walk back to now. Walking back through the heather is such a feast for the eyes. Hello, cow. As I get nearer to the village, I receive a Coast Guard call out, so head straight to the Coast Guard station. We get stood down pretty quickly though. This station is one of the oldest still in operation in the UK and dates from 1893. Our Coast Guard team does rescues along the cliffs and shoreline and isn't to be confused with the RL&I rescue boat. Well, I hope you enjoyed these snippets from my day. Thanks ever so much for watching. Bye!